everyone, and welcome to PopCultX, your go-to for all things pop culture from our Gen X perspective. Today, I'm joined by GenX and Adrian. Thank you guys for taking some time and joining me here on this fantastic voyage we have planned for everyone. Before we get into our topic, which is going to be like a PopCultX show and tell, if you will, just want to check in with you guys. How have you been? What's new in your life? Anything exciting you want to share with us?
I've been drawing a whole bunch, and mainly fan art on some Whatnot streams, selling some stuff. I've had some people come in and recommend that I turn my stuff into tops and upper deck and stuff like that for cards. So
that's cool.
That might be next on the list for me to do. I have submitted my stuff into upper deck before. And another person said to try tops. They have the Marvel, the Disney, and the Star Wars cards.
Nice,
so,
that'd be cool.
I might try. I have some of those characters. So I don't have too much Disney, but I've got a little bit of Marvel and Star Wars. So that's big for me. So that's up on the horizon. Hopefully by the end of the year, I can get that all squared away and sent to them.
Very cool.
Look at you, Adrian.
Look at me. Look at you. Doing big boy stuff.
That's big boy stuff. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Adrian.
Thank you.
Has there been any time where you got in a commission where you're like, whoa, I don't know if I can do this just because like subject matter or just maybe outside of what you feel comfortable with?
Sometimes when they're too demanding on what they want.
Okay.
When a client, I want to look like this and wearing this, and then I want my husband to look like this, wearing this, and we're doing this. I'm like, how about I just draw some, I'll, usually like I know the person or something, and let me get to know you and know your likes and kind of do my artistic, creative kind of magic on it rather than you just telling me what you want me to draw. So it happens. It happens that with graphic design as well. I try to bust out a logo that I think is a winner and, has some value, and they still want to stick with their dumb idea sometimes.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, because that, as somebody who's artistic, even I think just in general, whenever you produce something that you really think is the piece, like the showpiece, right? And then someone comes in like, yeah, I want it to look like this. And then you're like, that is trash. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
At what point is it a business or a creative director like type thing, right? So where you make that kind of, I guess, submit to the client's wishes in a sense.
I have a line that says it's best practice to do whatever, well, it's not best practice to put these kind of these fonts together, or it's best practice if we, do it like this, maybe, and just kind of, well, in my experience, you kind of use words. They're like, oh, okay, this guy knows what he's doing. He knows what he's talking about. And it's not I want to let them know it's not my first logo, or it's not my first branding. It's not my first commission sketch, or whatever it is. So. And when stuff gets when they, they're stacking the ice cream cone a little too high and things are just getting out of hand, I'm like, all right, time out, that's a little too much, or, hey, that's going to cost you, you want all that,
Yeah. Does it ever get to a point where it's like, I don't know if I want to attach my name to this design now because it's such a far removed from what I do that it's no longer, I don't consider it my work anymore. Yeah.
It's still my work, but you don't end up on my website. You don't end up in my portfolio. Yeah, you did it, and you got me 2 referrals, and I appreciate all of it. But you're still, because you kind of led the project with your idea. There's no reason for me to highlight that on my portfolio or whatever.
That makes sense.
So.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kudos. Congratulations. That's cool, man.
I know, man. I'm really excited to see what happens. This one guy just came on my last stream. Was like, he gave me all the information.
Oh wow.
Because he's one of them as well. He's a tops artist and a upper. Maybe no, it's another one. I forget the name of the other one. He said he was. but it was Tops was the main one. He said that I had a lot of good stuff. He was looking through my stuff.
That's
Tops is trading cards in itself is such a huge industry, right? And they have, I remember growing up, baseball cards, football cards, but that's been expanded so much nowadays that I don't even think I know where to begin with that sort of stuff.
It's quite vast out there.
Yeah.
And there's, it's just like comics. I'm more of a comic book guy than I am a trading card or any kind of stuff like that. So it's kind of a new world a little bit, especially when somebody's like, hey, will you do a commission? They got all this stuff. And you're like, you realize it's going on this big, like I cannot do 3 characters on here the way I would want to do it, and make it successful.
Almost like a tattoo in a way. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. But the card people are crazy, and then it splits up. You got the GPK, the Garbage Pail Kids people, the baseball card group, the basketball card, football cards. So it's all, and artist trading cards. There's a couple of people that just like, I have books of artist trading cards.
Oh wow!
So just original artwork from people. So it's got its own little subgenres out there.
Very cool.
That's awesome.
Very cool. How about you, Jen? Anything new and exciting?
Well, Adrian knows I'm just getting ready for the next con. I'm just trying to prepare and see what best possibilities are out there. I'm hopefully finishing up some things. I'm actually getting ready to do a panel for my GenX channel on indie comic books and how they're saving the industry. So again, with some publishers and artists and personalities to do a roundtable conversation around that. So that'll be coming up pretty soon.
That's cool. Is there any way cool. Share me the link so I can put it in the show notes at least, or so people can be reminded of it at least.
Yeah, they just stay tuned to the GenX, and it's GenX_comics on YouTube. So if people want to look it up, I'll have some dope guests. So I'm excited about that.
That's cool. Yeah.
Can you hint at anybody who's going to show up for that panel?
You'll have to press subscribe and share and like, my friend. Like, I know you were one of the first ones.
Like that setup?
Yeah, that was pretty good.
I knew you weren't going to give it away.
No, not at all. I'm excited because it's a pretty diverse group of folks from the industry, particularly those who are lovers of indie comic books that know a lot about comic books and indie comics. And then we have some artists that are actually like key folks in that. So typically you would find them in my GenX con, but this is like something I'm venturing into a little bit more. And, I just love indie books. So,
Very cool. Very cool. Here at PopCultX, I'm excited. I'm doing the first annual Pop Culture Awards.
Yes,
I'm excited for that. The voting for that's going to start in December, and it's just fun little categories. Beyond just the best film or best music or best comic. I have one that I'm really excited about. It's the best movie theater collectible popcorn bucket. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I did some research. It's like this huge new collectible that's showing up everywhere for like almost every huge new blockbuster. And they've been really cool. Like I just saw one for Nosferatu, which is like the coffin, and the popcorn comes in there. And then the Gladiator has like the Colosseum. So it's like some cool things that are happening in that realm. And so I'm excited for this. The poppies is what I'm calling them. So everyone out there, be sure to stay tuned for the link to where you can go submit your favorites. And I'm excited to see what everyone has to offer for that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Who started the popcorn thing? Dune? Was it Dune?
Goodness, it might have been. I know I'll have to give you a historical timeline. I don't know what the first major one was. I know
they was it Dune or the first Dune? Okay. I thought it was Venom. I thought Venom had one.
Venom had one. Of course, the Deadpool Wolverine one had one. Barbie had one.
Okay.
There's quite a few just from the past couple of years. So
I heard the Gladiator one. There's like you actually put your phone over the bucket, the empty bucket, and it has like it actually shows you like a fight scene inside the bucket. It's so crazy.
What?
AR? Yes.
Oh wow.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Check it out on YouTube. I was actually floored when I saw that. I was like, what? How do they do that? So you basically, I think there's a QR code at the bottom of the bucket, and then it just basically superimposes whatever was on there inside the bucket.
Oh, I see. That's cool. I see what you mean.
Yeah,
that's really
it's
cool.
real easy to do now. I'm surprised more people don't do it.
Yeah,
a lot of AR stuff is another interesting topic. I mean, have you guys done a lot of stuff with AR with your phone and stuff like that, especially when it comes to comic book characters? I know there was a time when comics were doing it a lot, right? They had like at the back of the page, they had like a panel that you would use your phone over or something like that. Have you guys done anything with that?
Yeah, not so much. Yeah, I haven't done too much with it, but
neither.
No.
We're old school, I guess.
I play Pokemon Go. That has some some
true.
AR stuff to it. You can be in like the real, I can have a Pokemon of some sort behind me if I wanted to, or in front of me, or like in the real world. But it's animated. It's 3-dimensional, and you might be able to walk around it if you place it in a certain spot. You can walk around the whole thing and play with it and interact with it. It's really neat.
Yeah. It's cool. I know I don't know if they still do it, but I know YouTube used to have like 360 videos, which is really cool. Like you hold your phone at different angles and you could see whatever that 360 camera captured. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
But we are talking a little bit about show and tell today. It's just to make it more adult, bring your own pop culture, BYOP, instead of show and tell. So let's go ahead and get started with that a little bit. Whoever's ready wants to jump in first. I don't know if that's you, Jen. Go for it. Just what have you got to share with us and our audience today?
I got a ton of stuff. I mean, I don't know. I feel ill prepared for some reason, but I will show you this. So it's this book here, this comic book. It is by Mark Spears. I actually went to my LCS and they highly recommended it. And it's old school, but it has a new school feel to it. So the outer, I would say the cover is representative of what's inside. So as you kind of can see, the artwork is phenomenal.
Oh, look at that.
Old school, but yeah, it's I think it's also from Keen Spot, which is an indie company. It's about spent like $6 on it, a little bit over with taxes, and it is chock full of literally, it's a thick book, so it's worth the money. They have different variant covers too, so I'm really excited about that. So that's my show and tell. I think that this is definitely a buy for somebody who's old school, loves Bela Lugosi back in the day, old school monster.
Reminded me of.
Yeah. So I think they definitely took inspiration from that. But yeah, that is my recommendation. I think the next issue is already out, so I'm a little behind, but yeah, just monsters. I think I'm in the mood. I missed out on Halloween this year for some reason. I don't know why, but I'm catching up during Christmas and the winter break. So Thanksgiving, why not pull out Monsters by Mark Spears?
Yeah. You mentioned that the insides match the outside, the cover. And I think that's really cool because there's been some times when I fall in love with the cover of a comic book and then I go to look in the inside, it's like, wow, kind of a letdown. And now you guys are more experienced in comic books than I am. Do you find that happens? Is that more regular than not?
Yes. Yes. Okay. I actually got into a tiff with somebody who actually had a variant cover that was done by a really well-known artist, and the insides were trash. I mean, it was the worst. And I told him, I was like, you really should tell people, because I actually like to collect. So if you're just selling it for the cover, then that's not fair to consumer. And I wouldn't have spent money on it. And so I just have never bought from that person again. So,
yeah,
that was me. But yeah, if the insides and outsides don't match, I don't mind different artists. But the other thing that weirds me out is when, and I've seen this with indie books, they change artists in between. And so you can tell the difference. And though it may be close, it's not close enough or if they have like 3 or 4 different artists, it's just like, oh gosh, this is like a piecemeal situation. And the cover's dope. So, but yeah, the storyline has to be dope. Everything has to be on point for me.
Yeah. Yeah. There's some main factors in there. I think I agree with Gen X when it's, first there's the gravitation to a great cover. You go and you pick it up.
Mm-hmm.
You flip through the first couple of pages if you're taking a look, and if that doesn't match that same feeling, that excitement that got you. I mean, you go to the comic book shop, there's thousands, of different covers on the wall, and if you open it up and it's just kind of mediocre, mid-level art, then most of the time I'm going to put it back. I'm like, oh, that was just to grab my attention. They paid good money for a great artist. I'm not. Just not for me. If you're going to try to bamboozle me into getting your comment by, getting a really great artist that has nothing to do with the art that's in the next 30 something pages, then I'm not going to believe that the writing is great as well. I just don't. I feel like they're not confident enough with the artists that they got to do it, and then to do the insides, the interiors, to do the outside. Then they're not confident with that. They're not confident with their artwork. I mean, but there is I think there's an exception with things like Milestone out of DC Comics, when they're hiring all people of color. And so they're hiring someone to do the inks, the art, the colors, the letters, and they're all people of color. And then they use like Torrin Clark to do the covers, which very much matches the excitement that's on the inside as well. But they're giving jobs to multiple people of color through Milestone. So it's a little bit different, I think. It's a little bit different strategy than just, oh, hey, we got, I don't know, whoever, John Boy Myers to do a great cover, and then it's just really not much of any excitement on the inside. So it does happen at all.
Okay. I mean, for me, I guess there's different collector styles, right? I really love covers. So if I find a cover, no matter if the storyline is inept or doesn't go anywhere, it doesn't make sense, or the interior artwork is like less than, I don't really mind it because I'm just going to enjoy the cover. Like, I don't know. That's just how I feel. I know people like Gen X, you want it to match because you want to have that excitement. And that makes perfect sense. It does. It's just, I guess, just various levels of comic collectors.
Yeah. And for me, my satisfaction comes in with like, if the whole piece is something representing you, I'm going to come back and support you even more. Like Terminus Veil, I always know that the cover is going to look like the inside, and you're going to have multiple covers. The sequential art is going to make sense. The storytelling is going to make sense. So these are things that I look for as someone who's not only a collector. Like I love covers. But I think that if I'm investing in somebody, especially somebody's like book, for me, it's more like you're investing in yourself. So you're putting yourself out there. And this is the representative of what exactly you're saying is going to happen, every 2-3 months or whatever.
That makes sense.
And
I got you.
And especially for indie folks, like I actually feel the indie side is well, no, let me take that back, because I've actually seen some pretty basic innards of books. But I think for the most part, the stuff that I've been reading, folks that I've been interviewing, connecting with, those are the things that I like. And so the inner and out and covers to me make a difference because I keep them. I'm not selling them.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Very true. How about you, Adrian? Anything you bring to show and tell here?
Well, yeah, I had one thing that I was, I know your topic of excited about stuff coming out. I missed that one. So there was one thing I wanted to make that one so bad. So I did want to share it. It's really big news, but well, for me, and maybe all the people that love the show. But let's see here. well, I don't think I have the exact date, but it's 2025. Genndy Tartakovsky. Do you know Genndy Tartakovsky? That name, I had to learn the name.
Okay.
Because it's the creator of Dexter's Laboratory.
Oh, okay.
And Samurai Jack.
Yeah.
Had a hand in Hotel Transylvania.
Okay.
The Adam Sandler animation. Excuse me. And he did Primal. And now Primal was the sleeper. It was about a caveman and his dinosaur.
Okay.
Go look it up. It's good late night watch. They're only like 20 minutes long. You'll zip through all 3 seasons. And he has just announced after about 2.5, 3 years that he is bringing out another season. So I was really excited about that. So
that's cool.
And it's, there was some people that watched Dexter's Laboratory, and I've had, friends that we get on cartoon. We start talking about cartoons, and they're like, "Oh, Dexter's Laboratory is so funny, it's so great." I didn't get into it as much as some other people, but I got into Samurai Jack, and I thought there could be nothing better than Samurai Jack, and he outdoes himself with Primal. And I had the stuff here, and it doesn't really say. I did have an article, but I lost it, of like when it was coming out. And it's going to be season 3, and it's sometime here in 2025. He said that he's almost done with 7 episodes, and he's, I think, going to 10 episodes.
Oh, wow.
And it's absolutely amazing. If you haven't watched it, you can watch it on. I watch it on Max, HBO Max, or whatever it is, and it's just a caveman and a Tyrannosaurus Rex, and there's no dialogue. It's super bloody, very violent, and it's just a great little adventure. They ate each other, they fight each other, they become friends, and and then the adventure begins. And so I was
that's
really
how
excited.
We started.
That's exactly how we started. It was a bloody beginning. The bloody beginning. And I forget his name. And like, there's no back and forth to where like the T-Rex's name is like Tooth, and his name is I'm gonna have to look it up. Yeah, man, it's just like Fang is the name of the dinosaur, and he is Spear. His name is Spear, and the dinosaur's name is Fang. So I highly recommend it. They're coming out with a new one, so get ready for 2025 when Tartakovsky comes out with. I mean, it says Genndy Tartakovsky's Primal, and you'll love it if you don't mind a little bit of bloodshed, a lot of bloodshed, animated bloodshed. Nothing like good old fashioned animated bloodshed. But I also got this out at my local library.
That's cool.
Focus on that. J. Gonzo's La Mano del Destino, Lucha Libre action. And again, it goes back. Well, one, Latino brother of ours has done some amazing work, a lot of work to bring this out. It's from Top Cow Comics. If you were to ask me what's one of my favorites, and I think only some of my close comic friends might know this, it's Top Cow Comics. And just like GenX said, man, when the inside matches the cover, and all the covers are the same, and just everything's so consistent. And even if it is, I start reading this. I haven't even read it. I start reading this tomorrow with my coffee. So
that's cool.
I definitely wanted to show that off.
That's cool.
Luchas are, people just love that. They're mysterious, whether you're Mexican or not. They're just a mysterious type of athlete.
Yeah.
And everybody, I love the fact that everybody hides their face in the lucha sports. So I'm looking forward to really diving into this. It's a big one. and it's from, I think it's from the 1960s. The story takes place. Okay. So it's not like a modern day story. I think it's a little bit older or something like that.
It's a period piece. That's
cool.
It's
a period piece.
It's a period piece. Yeah. From the 60s.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Jay Gonzo.
Jay Gonzo.
I'm a fan of his work. Yeah.
So cool. If I love it, then I'll probably be out on the hunt for the individual titles. I usually do that if I haven't gotten something already.
Very cool. I guess before we get into another topic, let me share something that I had that is one of my prized possessions. It's actually talking about commission work. It's by Jacob Edgar. It's for the comic book The Ones, and I had him done for me, and it says PopCultX on his shirt. And what's cool about this is that this is like the only non-digital commissioned artwork for that comic book from him. So
that's cool.
I'm very proud of this, and yeah, that's my show and tell, everyone.
Nice.
Are you gonna display it somewhere?
I have it in a frame normally in my background, so I just took it out so it shows better on the camera.
Yeah,
but it's really exciting to get custom art pieces.
So, I don't have any custom art as much as I have some from friends. My buddy Shore Comics. I have some drawings from him, but I really wish I had a better commission game like that. Like I had commission artists, or I wish I had a Jim Lee or whatever, that he drew for me or something. I would love that.
You can
I have a museum.
You can't take it, huh?
Yeah.
I have a museum's worth of Adrian Quintero's covers.
I need to get an Adrian Quintero original.
No, I'm serious. Yeah, I don't know how many I bought from you, but it has to be like 15 to 20 of them. I literally have 15 to 20 backings. Yeah. He's so good. So kudos to you, man.
Thanks, I will be doing that for the next PopCultX commission piece coming to you, Adrian.
Nice.
Maybe I'll make it like an alien character somehow. And speaking of aliens, I watched Alien Romulus. Have you guys had a chance to see that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I saw that a long time ago.
No, I just recently saw about 2 nights ago on Hulu.
Yeah, exactly. Same as me. Finally saw it, and I liked it. I thought it was really well done. I liked the characters that they brought into the mix there. I mean, I know that having watched the past couple of years for the first time in their entirety, Alien and Aliens, I was kind of familiar with, still some of that world, but seeing the way they portrayed it, on this off-planet mining colony and what their character's motivation was to get up to that spaceship and I just thought it was really well done. Mm-hmm. How about you guys' thoughts on it?
I love the new character. I could follow her, and I feel like that's the idea. Mm-hmm. I could follow her through another 3 or 4 films, and not get tired of her and this character. And I think she's gonna, I would hope that she'd toughen up a little bit more, and by the end of it, she's really just hates these aliens. She's going to end up. It's just I saw when I by the end of the movie start thinking about it. What did I just watch? Which I do believe that it was a little bit softer than a lot of the other Alien films. When it came to a bit of the gore or the violence and the jump scares. I expect a good nice handful of jump scares in an Alien franchise, and there maybe scared me once, and I think they dropped a wrench more than the alien. It was like something dropping in the background that made me jump. But I didn't get the there's always the alien. What are they called? The metamorphosis ones. I forget what they're called. They had a name for
Xenomorph.
Xenomorphs. And them crawling around. There was only a few scenes of that, and I really like that. That's spooky to me. Is the human being in the suit crawling around and doing things, coming from the top of the screen and doing things like that. And I was kind of missing some of those things from the 80s and 90s Alien films. But overall, I thought it was great. I like the way, like what you said there, Danny, how they wanted to get away from where they were and get up there, and they had a plan after they accomplish that, and of course, just like every alien film, it all goes to shit, But
yeah.
I did really enjoy it, and I love the nods, to Sigourney Weaver. I feel like
me
it
too.
was more than anything, from
Her
a little
famous line.
bit of famous line to the scene. Everybody saw the scene in the trailer, like, oh yeah, they redid the side of the face, kind of real close, kind of thing, and a couple of other little things that were in there that were actually pretty nice and pretty neat to see on film or see on the screen.
Yeah, I echo everything that you all said. I think the one thing that I was excited about is that the timing of it. So that movie, I believe, is between Alien and Aliens. That period. So that's actually
I've never asked or never been curious about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So it doesn't follow it after. Like, it's not, multiple Alien movies past. It's stuck in between. So it's like a mid story.
Mm-hmm.
So I did appreciate that. I liked the pace of it as well. I thought I think that's where the eerie parts were, because I was expecting, like you said, Adrian, I'm like waiting for like these jump scares, but the anticipation, or maybe I was, anticipating, that it would happen at a certain point, or maybe the formula is so, so rich in my brain that I'm like, yeah, it's about to come, they're going to be stuck somewhere, but as I was thinking about the mythos, I was thinking about Prometheus as well, and just where all those things happen. And then thinking about, how in every venture there was a different type of xenomorph that transpired based on the species and or the timing of what it was. So with humans, I find it interesting because I started reading more about it afterwards. So the Prometheus piece for me too, the reason why the humans were a part of this equation was that they were supposed to be the height of the creation of the creators, right? So the engineers. And so they created this the xenomorphs and the aliens to actually wipe out the humans because they were a mistake. They were literally, they were upset because, from what I've read, that humans are just fallible. They would kill each other. They're just ruthless, and that's not what they wanted to create. They wanted to create some type of utopic and forward thinking. So that's why they created the alien species to kill us off. And we didn't. So we didn't die. But it's interesting that, like, when you pull it all together, front to back, it's really a rich story, and can't wait to see what else they come with it, because like you all said, I think that there are mid stories that can be told that could actually extend the franchise a little bit more.
They have Alien Earth coming out, I believe, on Prime Video.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know much about it. That's all I've heard. It's just they're coming out with Alien Earth.
Yeah.
So we may see a little bit of Earth in this. Have we seen Earth in any of the Alien film? I don't know if they've reached Earth
Alien versus Predator. Was that in Earth? I never watched this. I don't know.
God, I don't know.
Alien versus Predator was
that was Earth, huh?
Yeah.
I thought it was. Yeah. Okay.
I actually want to see. I mean, I saw the sequel to Prometheus, but I wish we had seen the engineers planet in like a different way. I don't know. That was a missed opportunity. And also to retell how we became a part of this ecosystem, right? So that'd have been dope too. But they have maybe that's the next storyline.
Yeah.
Are you guys fans of stories that are told at different points of the timelines? Like Romulus is told, like you said, between Alien and Aliens. I think of like Rogue One, the Star Wars story is told, pre Return, New Hope or whatnot. Are you guys fans of that type of storytelling?
Yeah. I mean, I think the Star Wars universe has gotten us used to that. Mm-hmm. And I'm still confused at times. We're trying to watch Andor.
Okay.
And we watched the trailer to season 2.
Yeah.
And he mentions Ezra Bridger. And I'm like, wait, wouldn't Ezra be a tiny little boy at this time? Or like, I'm
Yeah.
But again, all Star Wars has to do is bring out a little timeline like this with little dashes and show where everything is. And, they're right. Once again, they fixed everything. But I do like that. Yeah, I don't mind it at all. I love to hear, little side stories and stuff like that from whatever lore you're into.
I think as long as it doesn't feel like a cash grab, industry, the industry folks typically create things just to kind of just put it out there. And if the story sucks and it just doesn't look right, it just becomes kind of like it sullies the rest of the franchise in a sense. And I hate to put that stamp on it, but like if you're gonna do it well. They didn't spend a lot of money on Luke Skywalker's face when they did the Mandalorian, but I still appreciated the whole series because it was actually well done, right? And I geeked out. I got to geek out for a few, especially that last episode, the second season, I believe. That to me was worth it, right? But when you're talking about sequels in the movie theaters where they're spending millions and millions of dollars, like make sure your shit is tight. Like make sure it is going to be really good, especially if you're going to do side stories like Rogue One. Phenomenal story. Love the movie. And they unfortunately died, right? But it's one of those like heroic stories that bleed into the rest of the mythos. And I think that it's worthwhile telling those stories as long as they have impact and make sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it was a story that needed to be told. So the Rogue One thing, we kind of knew about it. We knew of these rebels. They got this, they mention it in A New Hope or they talk about how they got the stolen plans and all that. And then it's never really talked about again. And, it's the Luke Skywalker is the one that's supposed to save the day with his new buddy and a Wookiee, and they kind of lead you on to that story, right? But then they go back and they make an amazing film about those rebels that steal this plan. And then at the end of it, of course, I take my kids and I'm like, sorry, kids, everybody just died in that film, Oops. And they're like, no, nobody's dead yet. We're going to do Andor, and it's going to be the before, and they can keep going backwards and
that's true.
And they can keep going forward. They can go way in the future past Force Awakens and The Last Jedi and all that, and they can keep going that way. Yeah. So they have a timeline that's filled up and then they can fill up, they can increase that or, go one way or the other. And I enjoy that. The more, the better, I feel.
Yeah, I agree with that. Well, let me ask you this then. Speaking of Andor, for me, it didn't, but maybe, I don't know, for you, does it diminish the storyline knowing that he's going to survive till Rogue One? Knowing that no matter what he gets himself into, he's going to live till he gets to that. And that could be for any sort of movie that does like a prequel. Like, they're going to survive because they're alive in the other movies.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, for me...
go ahead, Jen.
No, I was just going to say, I think they laid the foundation for you to love that character, right? So even though the ending of that character, you're still rooting for them because they're beloved, right? Yeah. They're actually a centerpiece of the storytelling, and they're heroic. So whereas, for example, because we had a prequel sequel, right? It helps. Like it actually does help. It helps with like furthering the storyline of this one character and several characters actually. So it just feeds into this what I feel is a lost art, which is the storytelling, character development that allows people to actually have an entry point into the soul of the character rather than just a character that's there.
Yeah.
And you're going to want to watch Rogue again because that character is so beloved. So that's how I feel about that.
Yeah. I almost want to watch Rogue One. I think we're on episode 7 or 8 of season 1.
Okay.
No, maybe something like that. We're towards the last of the season. But I kind of want, when I'm done with it, I feel like, well, now season 2 is coming out. I probably should hold off, but I can watch it anytime. But I do feel like going back to watch Rogue One. I love how they they made Andor this hero you didn't know that you were going to like. I think. It was just kind of this rebel kind of scoundrel that is planet hopping or whatever he did as a kid or a youngster. But now he's a main character in this lore now.
Mm-hmm.
And he really wasn't before, it was just some rebels that stole these plans. And now they put a face to it, and they've given him his Star Wars cape kind of thing and made him a household name,
Yeah, absolutely.
And they didn't, I don't know if they anticipated that series to make as much of a stir in the industry, because it was just, they didn't really put that much effort into advertising it. Mm-hmm. I remember just stumbling upon it, somebody saying, "Oh, have you seen Andor?" And I was like, "What?" And all of that was grassroots. And so anyway, I think that says a lot too about, the folks who invest in those characters and, keep us moving forward.
Yeah. I think it's also a testament to the writers of the series who they know the end result and where the character arc is going, but they allow the character to transform, like you said, from where he started at the beginning of the show, and you see him grow each one to now when you go back and rewatch the movie, you can understand his choices because you've seen his character develop throughout this whole series. Absolutely.
Yeah. Even in the trailers for season 2, he looks more confident. Yeah. There's something about him. He was just this kind of scruffy looking dude and not very tall. I don't think Diego Luna.
Yeah.
Right? Diego Luna is a very tall guy. But in the trailers to season 2, he still looks like a short little Latino man, but he's very confident. I feel like every scene in there, he's got his head up and he's like standing a little bit taller in some of the scenes. So
yeah. How about all the Latino men in those roles, brothers? That's kind of cool. I'm actually kind of, and even Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka, you know what I mean? Like, we didn't see that in the original series. We didn't see as many in there. So that's really cool to me.
Yeah. I was thinking about that too. It's like Pedro Pascal, Oscar Isaac, Diego Luna. It's like, wow, they really do have a lot, and they're all doing fantastic. So that's what's really cool to see. It's not just they're there just to be there. They're actually doing a great job with the characters that they're portraying.
Yeah.
What nationality is Jimmy Schmidt?
Jimmy Schmidt is, I want to say Puerto Rican, actually.
I think so. I think you're right about that.
That was the only person that looked like me from the first movies. That I was like, oh my God, that's a brown dude in there. Like,
it's a brown dude.
Seriously, it's the only, but his name is Jimmy Schmidt. You know?
Yeah.
So I didn't really think he was.
Yeah, he's Puerto Rican.
I didn't think he was legit, but he is. He's Puerto Rican.
Yeah, he's legit, bro. He's
legit now, bro. He is now.
You're older,
has his Latino card.
He's got his Latino card. He had it back then.
Yeah,
even though if I knew it or not, like he was the brown guy. He was the Latino looking dude in the Star Wars set.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very fun. I don't know how we got to talking to Star Wars so much, but we did, and I'm glad we did because it's fun. I enjoy it. As you could see, Star Wars. So
yeah, I was gonna say, Danny, is that your jam? Is that like your like
one of my favorite series? Yeah, it's one of my favorite. I mean, I even have like the tattoo. So
nice.
Wow.
Wow. Okay. How about Skeleton Crew?
I'm looking forward to that. Have you guys seen the lineup of directors they have for the episodes? Wow. It is some pretty intense directors. I'll look it up real quick for you. I do feel
that it's going to be for a little bit different demographic, a younger demographic, and I think some of the older Gen Xers and maybe the grumpy ones that don't like new things might not like it. I can already feel that they're going to say, "All right, there's way too many kids."
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's way too good, and it's I've already heard that people think it's going to be the Goonies, in space. I'm like, so what if it is? The Goonies is amazing, and if Star Wars wants to steal it, let them steal it. They're running out of ideas, anyways.
Dang.
Dang.
I know which company Adrian may not be working for tomorrow.
Tops, just ignore this episode.
Yeah. We'll bleep that part out.
Well, the directors like John Watts, the Daniels, they also have Bryce Dallas Howard and a few others. Wow. But I saw that, I was like, oh wow, that's pretty
Bryce,
cool.
I'm a big fan of Bryce. Yeah. Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yeah.
She's pretty amazing, you know. I mean, it's in her blood, I think, just to be an amazing director.
Yeah. That's
Mm-hmm. And one of my favorite things that I experienced this year, I'll throw in a little music, is the Cure album. The new Cure album, I have listened to about 3 or 4 times in its entirety. And it reminded me of the first time I heard Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me. I was, I don't know, 9, maybe younger, but I was young. And my cousin bought it at the mall and put it in. And I was like, what is it? He's not even singing. This intro is like 9 minutes long. Is somebody going to say something? You know, but then I found out that I really loved it. And, you know, all through my childhood, I loved The Cure. And my daughter's actually named Elise for Letters to Elise from The Cure as well. So them bringing this album out, I think it's one of the best musical achievements of 2024, and I think I might have gone unnoticed, and it might go notice. You know, I might get more notice as the time passes. That it is very so close to them as a younger band, and I think they hit that. There are a couple of Cure albums that I just don't really like, and there's this one that really grabbed me. And I've listened like 3 times, and I highly recommend it. Out of
Absolutely
all
agree.
the music that were out there this year.
You know, I have sticking to the music theme. I definitely would push our listeners and watchers to find out what Kendrick Lamar has to say for the rest of the year. This album that he just dropped is actually pretty good and killer. It's kind of old school. It feels like old school to me. And then the rap battle. So we'll see what happens. I've heard of some folks, especially Lil Wayne, get a little bit, upset about his name being mentioned into it. So we'll see what happens.
Rappers are too sensitive now, dude.
Dude. They soft, man.
Drake wants to sue now. I'm like, what? And like all this shit is true in here. Like, it's from the beef, the drop from the they ain't like us or whatever. He ain't like us.
Yeah.
But, I have it on my queue to listen to. My son's a big Kendrick Lamar fan, so he's like, "Oh, the new album came out today." So yeah, I gotta sit and listen to that.
I listened to it at work. Next. It's pretty good. It's pretty kick ass. So, and I'm not I'm old school rap, 90s, 2000. But this is to me, it feels like an homage to that old school rap battle.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's very simplistic. So, but it cuts. It's literally a diss album. And then he also owns up to some of his stuff in the album, which is pretty cool. Yeah. So, check it out. Definitely check it out.
Yeah. I want to listen to it. I've heard the controversy around it, I guess, with the whole Spotify and Drake and everything, them suppressing their views or something like that. But I will say I did see this article from Rolling Stone that I guess he collaborated with the mariachi singer.
Yes.
On 3 of the songs. And like he saw her perform at Dodger Stadium or something like that. And then they collaborated on this on this album. And I think that's really cool. So I want to, just for that reason alone.
That, when it opens up like that, freaking amazing. Like it literally is in Spanish from the beginning, and then it drops, the beat drops, and you're like, whoa, this is so crazy. So definitely check it out. Yeah. He made us proud, that's for sure.
Good.
Cool. Yeah. Excited now for that. Yeah. And Adrian, yes, the Cure album, I've listened to probably 4 times already. It is just sublime.
Yeah. Like, and it's only like 8 songs, 9 songs, maybe 8 songs, like that, dude. Just real quick and just absolutely stunning.
Cool. Well, you out there, you guys have your marching orders, what you go read, what you're going to go listen to, what you're going to go watch. So Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for coming back. We appreciate it. And we will see you guys all next time.
Sweet.
Make sure you comment, y'all. Like, subscribe.
There you go.
Push all the buttons.
All
That's
the
right.
buttons.
Peace, y'all.
Later, y'all.